I don't know what to believe anymore. Do you? I don't know who to trust. I don't know where to go. A couple of months ago, I posted a video about how to find reliable news sources, in which I talked about looking for the overlap. But the concept of fake news is deeply troubling. And part of what it is a similar strategy that the tobacco companies used for decades, which is just raise a little bit of doubt. That's it. The tobacco companies, all they wanted to do was just raise a little bit of doubt to get people to question whether or not cigarettes cause cancer. So part of fake news is just getting us to not have a shared concept of what is real or not. And that is horribly dangerous. When you look back throughout human history at the worst atrocities that human beings have ever committed, Nazi Germany and the Holocaust has gotta be up there. And one of the techniques that the Nazis used to raise anti-Semitic ideas is they made cheap and available radios. And they ensured that all of the Germans in the country would get a cheap radio, and then they made a lot of broadcasting with propaganda talking about how bad the Jews were and how they were the cause of the horrible depression that Germany was in at the time. The same game plan is going right now. The agendas from the right and the left to try and paint the right or the left as evil and bad and dangerous. It's all going on right now, but it's not just through the radio, it's through HD video that's been cut and edited. Certain elements have been omitted, and then it gets distributed across social media algorithms that build echo chambers. So people are listening to news and getting sources and getting videos that goes right in line with their worldview. And it's so difficult to talk across divides when you're working with a complete different rule set and a different concept of what is true or not. And what happens is we start painting people as the good guys and the bad guys based on what media tells us and not on our own personal experiences. I mean, people are not talking to their family because they have different political views because media says people with this political view are bad, and you discount decades of knowing this friend or family member because media told you that they're supposed to be bad. Do you see what's happening here? We're not trusting our own view of the world and our own personal experiences that we've experienced with our heart and our eyes, but instead we're trusting media that is set up in such a way to divide us. And fake news is occurring on both sides of the aisle. I mean, you probably haven't met or spent a lot of time with Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton or Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos. You don't know them intimately, but you have very strong opinions about them, don't you? Well, I've seen the videos. Look, there's probably a lot of videos of me or accounts of me doing some pretty terrible things. You too. Taken out of context, we don't always look the way that we actually are. And yet we're so confident that we know these things to be true. We are all susceptible to falling into the trap of hating the people that the media you consume are telling you to hate. But we know hate is a terrible, disgusting feeling. It's a horrible emotion to carry with ourselves. But because hate is so powerful, it's as powerful as love, but in the other direction. The opposite of love is indifference. It's not hate. So hate is something that you share and you're vocal about and it motivates you, and you spread that with your social media channels because you feel like I have to fight against evil. So it's not social media's fault, it's our fault. This is what we're using the channels for. If we decide to spread positive things, uniting things, collaborative things, then the social media channels will spread that too. If you only look up puppies, YouTube will send you a lot of puppy videos. So this is on us to combat fake news. So another thing that we can do is recognize and then call out fake news. Call out when legacy media, New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, CNN, whatever, presents fake news. We need to say that is unacceptable. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And when a media source has given you false narratives over and over and over again, you need to let them go. And you need to look for media you can trust. Where do you find that? I think you need to look for individuals and you need to consume it all and look for the overlap. Overlap is where the truth lies. Become intolerant of any news source from any side of the aisle on any issue that is aiming to divide us. Any news story that is taken out of context and you get frustrated like, oh, why didn't you include that? Let that media source go, and the free market will show them that if you continue to do this, you will go out of business. And the market will celebrate those that give you what you should hear and what you need to hear and what you want to hear, which should be the truth. Sebastian Junger, the brilliant author of A Perfect Storm and Tribe, encapsulates this very well with his quote, "The point of journalism is to tell the truth, not to improve society. You can't improve something that you don't understand."